The Google Pixel Buds A series is an affordable alternative to the Pixel Buds, and while I thought the second gen Pixel Buds were actually pretty great, I'm a bit more hesitant on the A series. Hey guys, we have the Google Pixel Buds A series with us today, and they are the company's most affordable earbuds to date at just $99 US or 149 Singapore dollars. Before we get into the review, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on upcoming videos. So, let's talk about design first. It's pretty much identical to the Pixel Buds 2020, with the same shape and feel, except the black band around the lid is now a light grey colour that isn't as starkly different anymore. You still get a USB-C charging port at the bottom, along with a pill-shaped button at the back that serves to put the earbuds into pairing mode manually. I did encounter an interesting problem with pairing, but we'll talk more about that later. Inside, the earbuds again look almost identical to the Pixel Buds 2020, with that same Mentos-like faceplate and integrated stabilizing fin on the shell. Same problem here. Because the fins are built in, there's no way to swap them out for bigger ones, so people with bigger ears might feel the fins are a bit useless. Aside from that though, the buds are pretty small and quite comfortable in the ear. But let's get into the problem that I had with pairing. If you're using these for the first time, I actually recommend pairing them in a place where there's no other device or people around to interfere with the pairing process. The reason I say this is because there was a situation where I paired the earbuds to my Huawei Android phone, but I left that phone at home while I was, going out. So I was on a cab and I actually tried to pair them to the Z Fold 3 that I'm using currently, and it paired fine, right? So I got the pop-up notification for fast pair, the audio output thingy on the phone indicated that audio output was going to the Pixel Buds. But when I put the earbuds into my ear, I suddenly heard the music from the cab in my ears, and I was like, wait, something's wrong. So I took a look at my driver's phone because he has it up with navigation, right? And I noticed that on the top it said Cheryl's Pixel Buds A series connected. And I was like, why are the earbuds connected to both my Z Fold 3 and my driver's phone? Well, I asked the folks at Google, or I asked the PR agency and they asked Google, but Google couldn't really give an answer as to why this was happening. It might be a one-off thing, with just my unit, but I mean, just to be on the safe side, pair these at home before you go out. That's all. Anyway, the fast pair feature is definitely handy. It's something that you try once and then you kind of forget about it until you have to use it with a phone that doesn't have fast pair enabled, like my Huawei phone, and then you're like, oh, I gotta open up my settings, I gotta go into Bluetooth, I gotta manually pair, and yeah, kinda inconvenient then. Okay, moving on. To keep the earbuds under $100 US, there were some compromises made. There's no ANC on these, for one, but there is a vent to kind of relieve pressure build-up in the ear, so there actually is a decent amount of environmental noise that kind of leaks in. So, if you're looking for something that can kind of block out the noise, whether it's through ANC or by passive noise isolation, these won't really offer that. Touch controls are pretty basic. You get a single tap for play pause, 2 taps to skip forwards, and 3 taps to skip back. A long press and hold pulls up Google Assistant, and that's it. Pretty easy to remember. When you first connect the buds to your phone, there will be a notification asking you if you want to download the Pixel Buds app and search for setup. And yeah, you'll definitely want to download it. Inside, you get an EQ feature that really isn't much of an EQ, just asks you if you want to turn bass boost on or off, as well as toggle on or off adaptive sound, which is Google's feature to automatically raise or lower music volume based on how noisy your environment is. Now, I thought adaptive sound was actually done pretty well on the Pixel Buds 2020, but I was surprisingly disappointed by the implementation here. In my old review, I actually recall feeling that the adaptive sound feature was done very smoothly, but for the A series, it was actually quite jarring whenever the volume changed. For example, I was out one day waiting for my cab, right? And the volume was actually quite loud because, to counter traffic noise and the likes. But the moment I got into the cab, the volume just went way down. I'm not quite sure if it was an algorithm thing that got changed, but it does feel like a change for the worse. Anyway, I turned that feature off right after that incident. There are also some other cool features inherited from the more expensive Pixel Buds, like the ability to say hey or okay, and Google Assistant just picks right up instead of having to long press and hold the earbud. Another one is actually Google's real-time translation feature, where if you have the earbuds in and you're actually looking to translate a sentence, maybe to say Chinese, you can say, hey, help me speak Chinese. And after that, after the prompt comes in, you can just, say a sentence in English, and then after that, you get it translated and fed right back to you through the earbuds. I'm not sure how useful this would be in an actual conversation, because you would constantly have to stop, wait for the translation and then attempt to say it correctly, back out to whoever you're speaking to. But it is a fun little party trick. You also get firmware updates in the app, in-ear detection toggle, as well as a Find Device feature which utilizes Google's Find My Device app, yet another app to download. You can also ring either the left or right earbud, which is handy if you have a tendency to leave them out of the case, but the earbuds do have to be nearby and connected to your phone in order to be rung. You get Bluetooth 5.0 connectivity, which is, pretty standard, as well as SBC and AAC codecs. I didn't really expect any high-res codecs out of a $100 earbud, so perfectly fine there. You can also use both earbuds independently though, so if you prefer to use the left or the right, the other one can be in the case and the case can be closed. So yeah, pretty handy. Battery life is just okay. Google claims 5 hours in the earbuds, and I usually got around 4 hours and around 25 minutes, although there was one situation where it dipped down to slightly under 4 hours, and I'll explain why that happened later in the sound quality section. But yeah. There's supposed to be another 19 hours in the charging case for a total of around 24 hours, and unfortunately no wireless charging, although we really shouldn't be expecting, value-added features at this price point. There's also IPX4 water resistant, so it'll hold up to sweat and rain, but of course it's just the earbuds and not the charging case. Microphone quality is okay. My voice did come across quite clearly in voice calls, and when I was using Google Assistant, my commands were picked up pretty accurately, even though I was kind of mumbling some of them and not really trying to enunciate or pronounce the words as accurately as I should have been. Sound quality though is pretty decent, but let's talk about the problem I had first. These earbuds are really quiet for some reason. I typically tend to listen to music at around 30 or 40% volume, and that works fine, for earbuds that have ANC, because I don't have to raise the volume to counter external noise. These don't have ANC, and external noise actually trickles in, so I found myself needing to raise the volume to around 50 or even 60% to kind of counteract, the noise and just be able to enjoy music. It's not really a deal breaker, just something to take note of. But yeah, these don't really get all that loud. Anyway, back to sound quality. You get a relatively well-balanced sound that's clean and detailed across all ranges with an okay amount of separation. The only quibble I have is that the soundstage could stand to be just a bit wider, and the separation could be a touch better too. Right now, it just feels a bit too cramped. Complicated pieces suffer as a result, with instruments starting to blend in together. That being said, it's still a very impressive offering from Google at, $100. So, who would get these? Well, if you're using Google Pixel phones and you're looking for a pair of affordable earbuds, these are great. If you're not using a Google phone, but you are still using an Android phone, and you're still looking for something affordable, of course, these work fine too. Although there is better integration with the Pixel, phones, because everything you need is most likely already downloaded on the phone. You get convenient features like reading your notifications out loud, and of course, fast pair is handy. If you're big on Google Assistant, then these are probably the best and most integrated earbuds that you can buy, aside from, of course, the more expensive Pixel Buds. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Google Pixel Buds A series. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to us. Till the next one, see you guys!